Even amidst chaos, beauty whispers, you are connected, you are supported, you are sacred, and there is more to life than this moment. Hope begins here, with beauty as the doorway. Welcome to Intuition Unlocked, the podcast empowering empathic women who feel misunderstood, overwhelmed, or disconnected from their intuition, begin to trust their sensitivities, find inner clarity, and show up with embodied, unstoppable confidence in their daily lives. I am your host, Olivia Ashley, an empath and intuitive, and I am so happy you're here. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode feels really close to the heart because when I sat down to decide what this episode was going to be about, I asked, what does this community need the most right now? And the answer was so clear and strong, and it was hope. So with that message, I decided to go into the Akashic Records and channel you 6 messages related to hope. And I think the energy of hope is coming forward right now because hope is one of those subtle, powerful forces that can carry you through even the heaviest of seasons. It's what keeps you moving forward when you can't yet see the full path. And in this episode, I'll share 6 channeled messages to help spark hope within you. By the end of our time together, you'll reconnect with beauty and why it's one of the most potent activators of hope in your daily life. You'll learn practical ways to move through emotions instead of getting stuck in them, and discover how your own growth, wisdom, and community connections can become sources of strength and renewal. These messages are here as companions for you. Take what resonates, release what doesn't, and trust that hope has a way of finding you right when you need it most. Before we step into the 6 messages, I want to take a moment to explore what hope is. Hope is more than wishful thinking or positive affirmations. It's truly an energetic thread that connects you to possibility. It's a bridge between where you are now and where your soul knows you can go. And it's a lifeline, because when life feels heavy or uncertain, hopelessness can creep in. This isn't a flaw or failure. It's simply what happens when your vision narrows and you lose sight of possibility. Hope doesn't erase these challenges, but it does shift your perspective. It whispers that even in the darkness, a new light is already forming. Even in endings, beginnings are quietly taking shape. Life is very fluid, and hope can be an anchor to help you through it. There's also the reminder that hope itself is medicine. It can soothe the nervous system, calm any fears, help you stay resilient, and keep you connected to your creativity and your faith. When you nurture hope, you're not pretending that everything is perfect. You're actually remembering that everything is still unfolding and that you are part of a much greater story being written. And so, with this as the foundation, let's step into the 6 messages that came through for you today. There's 6 keys to help you kindle and sustain hope in your life. Message 1, find the beauty. Beauty is one of the most essential keys to unlocking hope in your daily life. Beauty is not just something you see with your eyes. It's something you experience with your whole being. When you allow yourself to pause, notice, and soften into the beauty around you, you create an opening where hope can enter. And beauty can be found everywhere. It should be found everywhere and in everything. It can be found in the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the resilience of a flower pushing through the cracks of a sidewalk, the lines on an elder's face, or the sound of laughter shared. These are reminders that life always offers moments of wonder, no matter what else is happening. And when you tap into those moments of beauty, you tap into the spiritual energy and knowing that you are unconditionally loved, everything is sacred, and there is hope to be found all around. So when you truly let beauty in, it expands your energy, it opens your heart and lifts your perspective. It brings you back to the eternal truth that love and goodness are still here. Even amidst chaos, beauty whispers, you are connected, you are supported, you are sacred, and there is more to life than this moment. Hope begins here, with beauty as the doorway. The more beauty you allow yourself to notice, the more hope naturally flows into your body and your spirit. Message 2, Flow with the feelings. Part of being human is embracing the full spectrum of feelings. You're both an infinite soul and a finite human being, and this life was never meant to be lived in one emotional tone. Joy and grief, light and shadow, we are an existence of duality. So we have the experience of joy and grief, pain and pleasure, light and shadow, clarity and confusion. Each has its place, its medicine, and its rhythm and purpose. When hopelessness arises, though, it often means emotions are being held too tightly, resisted, or trapped within you. And the natural impulse from there may be to numb, ignore, or control those emotions and feelings. Yet feelings are meant to flow. When they are honored and allowed to move, they release their charge and create space for healing. Think of feelings as waves. They rise, they crest, and they fall away. And it reminds me of the saying, "This too shall pass." So with that saying comes the paradox and duality of knowing that every moment is fleeting. When you're in a moment of joy, sadness may come next. And when you're in a moment of sadness, joy may come next. Everything is impermanent. Everything is cycling. But the flow itself, that constant movement, is a reminder that nothing stays the same. And that's where the beauty and the hope lies. Hope is found in this rhythm, in the knowing that even the heaviest or the lightest feelings will eventually shift and something new will arrive. When you give yourself permission to feel without judgment, be in that present moment and fully surrender to whatever you're experiencing, you discover that hope lives in the space between those waves, in waiting for you to soften and trust the tide, and in releasing the constriction and the gripping and the fear of looking and tending to those emotions or those feelings. So flow with your feelings, acknowledge they all have purpose, and let hope be your anchor through it all. Message 3, create with heart. Every day, you are creating your reality through the choices you make, from the beliefs you hold, from the perspective you wake up into. This shows up in a variety of ways, from what you say yes to the way you nourish yourself, to how you respond to stimuli that comes into your life moment to moment. Every choice and response is a brushstroke painting the canvas of your life. When you are in overwhelm or despair, it's easy to slip into autopilot, repeating patterns that deplete you. But you are not powerless here. You are reminded that you are a creator, and you have the ability to shift the direction of your day at any moment. And this isn't about ignoring what's happening or turning away from the hardness, from the suffering, from the pain that is going on in your life, in your community, in the collective, on a global scale, wherever you're seeing that or feeling that. In reality, you are adjusting to move from a macro lens to a micro lens and choosing to focus on you and what you have control over. It's not to say it's impossible to affect the external and those bigger things happening, but there's an invitation to come back to yourself, to start with yourself, because when you're resourced, nourished, and you're able to find hope, that hope grows. That vibration expands, and that hope ripples out from you to those in your space and the broader community. So that's the core of the invitation here, is to come back to you and remember to create with heart. Ask yourself, what would feel nourishing right now? What can bring me back into alignment? How can I approach this moment with more love, even if it's hard? Creating with heart doesn't mean every moment is perfect or easy or solves all your problems. It more means that you're choosing to anchor into your inner compass rather than anchor into fear or fatigue. And it's in that anchoring that you remind yourself of your power. You embody and take your power back, and then you are empowered to make choices, even in the smallest ways, that are heart-led, and that is an act of hope. Hope strengthens every time you decide to create your life intentionally instead of drifting through it unconsciously or feeling just stuck in the overwhelm or the tide of suffering and pain and reality that we are facing right now. It's not bypassing, it's not ignoring. It's a reclamation of your innate and inner wisdom about what you are capable of controlling and how you can play your part to help support the collective shift and focus to being one that's more enlightening, supportive, heart-led, and holistic. And hope is going to help you with that. Message 4, trust your tools. In times of upheaval, uncertainty, or even exhaustion, it's natural to feel adrift. These are the very moments when your tools become essential. You can think of your tools as little anchors, and these can be practices, rituals, supports, and resources that bring you back to your center, that fill your cup, make you feel more whole. Maybe it's a breath practice that settles your nervous system, a walk outside that reconnects you with the earth, a moment of connection to yourself or a higher power, or a favorite herbal tea that soothes your body. Perhaps it's your journal, your yoga mat, or a playlist that always uplifts you. It's completely unique to you. You will have your own toolbox that you've gathered over time, sometimes even without realizing it. It doesn't need to be complicated. Even one simple tool used with intention can help shift your energy and make you feel more resourced and strengthened. Along with leaning into the tools you've already gathered is a sense that there is an opportunity to add new tools in. So explore what calls to you. There are so many tools, practices, resources, mentors out there. What is nudging you? What little sparks have called to you that you've been noodling on and wondering if that's something that could help you? So lean into this curiosity if it makes sense, because curiosity itself also sparks hope, because it reminds you that new pathways are always available, new experiences, new realities, expansion, growth. It's all around and accessible, and it doesn't need to feel overwhelming. It doesn't have to be tied to a financial input. This can be something really simple and accessible. Those are good tools. Those are the tools you're going to want to have to lean on, because those you can easily reach for and utilize when you're struggling and you're looking for hope. Hope grows when you remember that you are not without resources. You already carry what you need to steady yourself, and so keep the tools simple but lean on them. Message 5, growth brings guidance. We are living in a time of immense change. That has been so front and center anytime I go into the records, whether it's personally or collectively. If you are here right now, there is change afoot, and it's really coming from a need to grow. So the collective is moving through cycles of contraction and expansion, and we feel that both personally and globally. Old ways are dissolving and new paradigms are really taking root. And this process can feel disorienting, but it's also a sign of growth and of that change. And growth always carries guidance. Each contraction makes space for expansion. Each challenge pushes you closer to your next evolution. And that is the point of being human. That's why we're here. So when hopelessness weighs on you, zoom out. Remember that what feels chaotic now is part of a much larger weaving, and you are a part of it. You're playing a very pivotal role. The universe is not aimless. It is purposeful, intelligent, and always seeking greater balance. Your role in this unfolding is to tend to your own growth, to meet your shadows with compassion, to nurture your light, and to integrate the lessons rising. Every time you choose to lean into growing, you receive more guidance. There's an inner clarity that shows you the next step forward. And hope is fueled by this understanding that even when things feel uncertain, life is always guiding you towards expansion. So you are not moving backwards. We are not moving backwards as a collective. You are evolving and we are evolving, and continue to trust what that looks like. Message 6 and the last message: share burdens and wisdom. Hope does not thrive in isolation. It grows strongest in connection with spirit, with loved ones, and with your community. When your heart feels heavy, it's often a call to release, to cleanse your space, to cry, to release, to pray, and to speak your truth aloud. Sharing your burdens lightens them. When you let yourself be witnessed, whether it's by yourself, your guides, your partner, a friend, or your community, you remember you don't have to carry everything alone and that many other people are feeling very similarly and have their own burdens and experiences, and this is a part of being human. For whatever reason, we want to shy away from showing our vulnerability, from showing the mess or the chaos underneath. And yet that imperfection is where wisdom lies. That is where we learn, we heal, we discover, and we integrate those aspects of ourselves so we once again can grow, can evolve, can get better and higher perspective. Everything you face, every experience from good to bad, hard to easeful, contains a seed of understanding. And when you offer that wisdom to others through your experience and your story, you start to transform that pain or that experience back into light, into wisdom. This exchange, the offering of your truth, receiving care, and reflecting it back, creates a flow that sustains everybody involved. Hope is nurtured through reciprocity. By allowing yourself to be held and by offering your presence and wisdom in return, you create a circle of support that replenishes all. When burdens are shared and wisdom is exchanged, what remains is space. Space for gratitude, for compassion, for surrendering, and for a deeper remembrance that you are never alone. You are always held, and hope is already here. So those were the 6 messages I received for you all. And to bring it together, you're reminded that hope isn't something far away or unreachable. It is something you can cultivate daily in simple yet powerful ways. You can awaken it by finding beauty in even the smallest details of life, letting awe reorient your heart. You can protect it by flowing with your feelings, allowing them to move instead of keeping them trapped. You can strengthen it by creating with heart, remembering that every choice is an act of creation that shifts your vibration and your reality. You can ground it by trusting your tools and leaning on the practices, rituals, and allies you already have and exploring new ones when called. You can expand it by embracing growth, seeing that the pressure you feel is not punishment, but part of your evolution. And you can multiply it by sharing your burdens and your wisdom, letting hope flow through connection and community. When you weave these things together, hope becomes less of a fleeting feeling and more of a steady companion, one that can carry you through uncertainty and can guide you towards your next season of growth, reminding you that you're never going to be alone as you walk your path. If you enjoyed today's episode or it resonated in any way, if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to the podcast and add your energy to this community. And if you feel called, you can share this episode with someone you think could use a spark of hope right now. Let's create ripples out into this world that bring hope and connection and community for each other. Until next time, tend gently to your heart. Keep your eyes open for beauty, and remember, hope is alive in you always. Thank you for joining me on Intuition Unlocked. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of insight, guidance, or intuitive inspiration. To dive deeper into our community and get access to exclusive content, head to my website at www.olivia-ashley.com and subscribe to my newsletter. You can also connect with me on Instagram at wildlyolivia for daily inspiration and updates. Remember, your intuition is your superpower. Trust it, nurture it, and let it guide you. Until next time, I'm Olivia Ashley, and I can't wait to connect with you again.